Hey everybody, welcome back to my modern homestead. My name is Janet, just in case you're new here and don't already know, and I'm so excited that you are here. Please pardon the way I look. It's been a crazy morning. Let me tell you what happened. Let's see if any of you have mornings like this. So I was hungry, of course. I got up and did breakfast, or started it. I put eggs on the boil, and of course, right as they were almost done, I decided, I should hang the garland while I've got a minute. So I went in there with my little command hooks and was reading how to do them and flipped it over and realized I needed rubbing alcohol. Well, while I was reading, the oven timer went off for my eggs, so I came in here to get the eggs finished up, to get them cool. And don't ask me how, but I turned around and decided I needed to clean the mat in the bottom of the oven. I don't know. Please tell me I'm not the only one. So I got it out and I said, well, got that out of the oven. I might as well clean the door while I'm here. So I started cleaning the door, got it all clean. I was like, the oven looks good. And I looked close and I was like, oh no, the oven does not look good. So I used the stuff I was cleaning with to try to wipe it off. That didn't work. Y'all, for the first time in my 40-something years, I decided I was going to try to use the self-cleaning function of the oven. I didn't use any chemicals because I don't like using chemicals, so unless I have to. So I just shut the oven, turned it on, praying I did it right. Now I'm praying my house doesn't burn down because it sure does smell. So anyway, I sat down. I said, well, okay, let me sit down and make sure my house is not going to burn down. I'll skim through Facebook for a minute. And then, y'all, I got so teary-eyed. This year has been a journey and a half, and I'm going to do an update video. It should be out on the 15th. But, y'all, I was just so overcome with emotion. First of all, I'm so grateful I've got an oven to clean. I'm so grateful I've got a house. And some things had happened with Mama where some things were taken that were precious to me, and I just started praying for God to bless that person, and I was just so overcome with emotion. But then I realized, oh my heavens, I'm supposed to be doing a video, and I just saw a car pull up, so I'm gonna have to stop for a second. But I wanted to come on here and introduce to you Christmas around the world, because I would love for some of you to follow around. Now, this is something I started when my children were little. When I first started homeschooling, we started it our first year. I think I only did 1 week, and then the next year I did 2, and then the next year I did 3 weeks, and then it just grew until just about every day of December I was doing a country for Christmas around the world. Now, when they were little, we did simple little things. I just chose a country for each day. Let me jump back on here. I almost forgot to tell you, my husband walked in. I don't like doing videos when he's in here. I forget everything I'm supposed to say. He's a little judgy. Really. But anyway, when my children were little, we did all sorts of things for Christmas around the world. One year, I did a passport, and they would color a flag, and I would write in their passport what country we visited for the day, and they would color in the flag and glue it in for their little stamp. And when they were older, I actually got them to write about some of the countries and the traditions, and that was the year I made them do the research and look it up. In a couple of the days, I would give them certain topics I wanted them to find out about, so that wasn't so overwhelming. But this is their writings from that year. And these are so precious to me. So if you are a homeschooler, this is a wonderful thing to do with your children. You can use the world map. That's the other thing I did, a world map, and you find the countries on the map and you color them in. Excellent, excellent activity. Even if you just teach school, public or private. I don't know, can you do Christmas in public school anymore? I don't know. It's geography. Anyway, if you're homeschooling or you're a private school and you can do Christmas, excellent project. So many subjects you can cover with this one activity. You can do cooking, you can do crafts, measuring, math, geography, finding the countries, writing, you name it. Be creative with it. So I wanted to jump in here and give you that before we left. Sorry, I had to stop the camera. But anyway, I would pick the one country for each day. And when my children were little, I did tons of research for each country. I would read and read and read, not all at one time, but as the years went on. And we just developed some countries that were our favorites so that we ended up doing them every single year. But each year I try to throw in a different country. But as the years went on, I developed a certain pattern for doing the countries. And the first country I always start with now is Australia. Now, in Australia, they do this big festival. Reading about it, it reminds me of sort of like the 4th of July here in America, because Christmas in Australia is summertime. So it looks different than our American Christmas. And they barbecue, they put the wreath on the door, at least from what I've read. Now, I've never been to Australia at Christmas time, so maybe some of you live there and can tell me for sure. But that's just what I've read. So on the day we start Australia, it's December 1st, no matter what day of the week it falls on. We hang our wreath, and normally I'll do crock pot chicken and put barbecue sauce in it after I shred it up. But this year we're going to do something a little different. We're going to try out some seafood, maybe a low country boil, we'll see. And we're going to hang the wreath on the door and do carols by candlelight. And when my children were little, I just took those little tea candles and we turned off all the lights. We turned on the Christmas tree and we lit those little tea candles, and they sat on the floor and we just sang what Christmas carols they knew or Christmas hymns they knew. So that's going to be December 1st. Excuse me. Then our next country is France. Now I like to do Australia and France together to get up my greenery in the house, because for France, they put out nativities. And when I put out my nativities and my wreath for Australia, I like to go ahead and get my greenery up in the house. And that kind of goes along with Ireland, but we'll get to Ireland later, because I can't do Ireland when I wanted to, which is the next day, because there's something I need to finish that, and it's coming in the mail. But day 2 is France. It's when I put up my nativities, because in France, you know, I don't speak French. To look at it and say it in American, it looks like crèche. That's the word for it in France. Please correct me if you speak French and I'm wrong. I won't be offended, because I know I don't know what I'm saying. But we'll go ahead and put out all my nativities. I collect nativities, so I have some that are my favorites, and we'll put those out. And in France, they'll use mistletoe. Now, I usually say mistletoe for England, but for France, their mistletoe has a little different meaning. It's like for good luck. So I have one little piece of mistletoe I'll hang for that in a different part of the house. And those are the 2 countries we're going to do before next week. So if you would like to read up on some traditions in Australia and some traditions in France, go ahead and read on some traditions in Ireland if you want to do this along with us. Now, when I get to Ireland, we're going to do the candles in the windows, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. But next week will be Holland, Germany, Israel, and Ireland. These are my favorite countries, and these are my family's favorite countries to do. And we have some exciting projects. A lot of them are cooking, but not all of them. So y'all join me, especially next week. We'll get all of our videos and activities going. I'm so excited, and I'm so glad that you're here and that you'll follow along. So until we meet again, may you be blessed. Mwah! Love you guys.